here in week or day 4, one of the assignments is formatting a flyer, and it comes from the lessons that we see in Microsoft Office 2013 that I've provided for you in Moodle. You should be able to do this in a number of different versions of Microsoft Word. I'm going to start by showing it to you in Microsoft 2016. So the first thing you'll need to do is you'll need to open the document that is attached to the file and open that in Word. So here it opens up. We are in protected view because we've downloaded this, and we need to enable editing. So I will press the enable editing button. And now we have a document that we can go ahead and work with. I'm going to go ahead and maximize my screen. And the first instruction in our document is to save the document as Wi-Fi at coffeeshop.docx. So I will go to our backstage view with the File button, and I will select Save As. I'm going to go ahead and save this on my PC. This folder is fine. If I wanted to choose a different folder, I could click on that folder and navigate to elsewhere on my computer. Here is the name of the file. I'm going to change this to Wi-Fi at Coffee Shop. Now on the assignment it says .docx. It's just indicating that you need to save it as a current Word document. By default, it's going to put that docx extension and save it with a more modern Word formatting. I'm going to hit the Save button. So my first step is to select the first 4 paragraphs and change the font to Franklin Gothic Heavy, size 48, and change it to all uppercase. If you have not seen elsewhere in videos I've provided about text selection, I'm going to take a moment to go over that quickly now. When you're working with your mouse, you have a couple of options with either clicking in the document or clicking in the left margin of the document. So if I click once on the document, I place the insertion point where I click. If I double click, now I'm talking about with my left mouse button, the one that you naturally put your index finger on. If I double click, I select the whole word, and if there's a space after it, the space after it. If I triple click, I select an entire paragraph. This is using the mouse in the space. Also, here on my workspace, from wherever the cursor is, I can use my left arrow to move to the left, my right arrow to move to the right, my up arrow to move up, my down arrow to move down. I can also select by holding the Shift key and moving the left or right arrow key one at a time until I select the text that I want. I can also hold the Control key and move the arrow buttons, and it will jump one word at a time through my text. Finally, we can use the mouse in the left-hand margin. So if I am over in this left margin, you'll notice that when I'm over my document, I get this I-beam type cursor or insertion point. When I'm in my left column, I get this right-leaning arrow. Over here in this area, if I click once, I select a line. If I double-click, I select a paragraph. If I triple-click, I select everything. This is the same as holding Control-A down on a Windows machine. I believe it's going to be Command-A on a Mac. One other thing I can do with my selected text, besides deleting it or applying formatting to it, I can move text around. So if I have selected this paragraph, once it's selected and I have released my mouse buttons and my cursor keys, I can click and hold that paragraph and I can move it to some other location. And I'm just going to undo that using Control-Z. If you're not familiar with keyboard shortcuts, please make sure you find them in the reading, listening, and watching that I've provided to you on MicrosoftOffice.com training. So now we're going to follow our assignment again. We're going to select the first 4 paragraphs and change the font to Franklin Gothic Heavy, size 48, and change to all uppercase. So to select 4 paragraphs, I'm going to put my cursor in the left margin, and I'm going to click and drag until I have selected the first 4 paragraphs. Now you might be thinking, well, those aren't paragraphs, those are just lines. But in word processing, we're going to consider each of these a paragraph. If we turned our non-printing characters on, we would see there's a paragraph mark after every line here. So each one is considered a paragraph. I'm going to turn that back off. We need to change the font to Franklin Gothic Heavy. Now I have a lot of fonts installed on my computer. I could drag down to Franklin Gothic, or I can just start typing Franklin Gothic, and it's going to bring me down to that Franklin Gothic area, and I'm going to select this Franklin Gothic Heavy. I could type the whole thing out, but there does come a point where dragging the cursor to the right point is the best thing. I'm supposed to change this to 48 point, which is one of our choices on here. I do want to point out that you can set the font to be anything you want. It doesn't have to be the font sizes that are in this list. If you want it to be 60, you can type the number 60. If you want it to be 5, it can be 5. When you're trying to force things in and tweaking just a little bit, maybe you need 11.5. You could type in 11.5 and it'll adjust to that. We're going to follow the text though, and we're going to make it 48. And finally, we're going to change it to all uppercase. And Word has this great feature in here where we have a change case button where we can change something that is in sentence case to all uppercase. You can quickly make things look like titles where you capitalize each word. You could make everything all lowercase. You can even toggle case so it's backwards. But we're going to follow the instructions uppercase. This can be a time saver if you're doing a lot of word processing, and especially if somebody else has done word processing for you and you want to change the case of words very quickly. So our next instruction is to change the color of the 4 headings. We're supposed to change SIP to dark blue text 2, surf to aqua accent 5 darker 50%, work to dark blue text 2 darker 25, and Wi-Fi is here to blue. Alright, well that sounds really confusing because I don't see all those words here in Word. But let's go ahead and select that line of text and go ahead up to here where we're going to change the font color and hover over the theme colors, and you will quickly see that when you hover over the theme colors, you're going to get different names for them. So SIP is dark blue. We'll have to move to the column that finds us in dark blue, and we're supposed to just be text 2. Now, this dark blue text 2 is lighter at 40. It seems as though we maybe just need dark blue text 2, which is the main theme color at the top. Then we're going to switch to surf, which is aqua accent 5 darker 50. So we're going to come up here and we're going to try to find something that appears to be aqua, and we'll hover over till we find accent 5 darker 50. And there we are. It is the last one in the aqua column. For work, we're supposed to go back to dark blue, text 2 darker 25. So come up and I'll pull down from my menu. I've got the dark blue column. Darker 25 is the second to the bottom in that column. And Wi-Fi is here is straight up blue, which we're not going to find in the theme colors. We're just going to find this in the standard colors, blue. So there we've changed the 4 colors for those first 4 lines of text. Our next instruction says select the paragraph beginning with the Grand Street Coffee Shop and change the font to Franklin Gothic Book, size 20. Then select Grand Street Coffee Shop set as bold and change the color to dark blue text 2. Okay, let's take that one step at a time. First, we're going to select the paragraph beginning with the Grand Street Coffee Shop. So I'm going to use my left margin cursor and double click, which will select the whole paragraph. I'm going to change the font to Franklin Gothic Book. Now I can go up there in my Home tab menu in the ribbon and find that, or I can use the font selection tool right here in the quick toolbar that comes up after selecting text. I have recent fonts at the top, but that is not Franklin Gothic Book. So I will scroll down till I find Franklin Gothic Book. I will change the size to 20. And then I'm just supposed to select the text The Grand Street Coffee Shop and set it as bold. and the color to dark blue text 2, which we know is the dark blue color there in the main theme colors. Our next instruction is to select the next paragraph and change the font to Franklin Gothic Book, size 14. So again, I'm going to double click out here in the left margin to select the whole paragraph. I moved away, so I lost my toolbar. I can click again till I get it and pull from here. Now here I have recently used Franklin Gothic Book, so it'll be right there. And I lost my mini toolbar again. That's alright. I'm just going to change the font to size 14 up there. Our next instruction is to select the last paragraph, change the font to Franklin Gothic Book, and the size to 16, and make all of the text bold. The instructions ask us to change the document view to one page. Right now, the quick way to change your work size is down here on the zoom bar, which allows you to zoom in and out. But if you want to specifically to get to one page, we can go to the View tab in the ribbon, and in the Zoom menu area, I can select one page, and it will perfectly fit the whole page on the document. I'm going to click off that last text so I see everything without any kind of highlights, and this is what my document looks like. I need to save the file and go ahead and upload it to the assignment. So that's it for formatting this flyer and going over some of the basics of selecting text, changing its font, color, and size, and working with the mouse and keyboard on doing all of that.